Welcome to Beyond the Prep, a podcast dedicated to providing information and insights into the bodybuilding sport. This podcast covers a wide range of topics from finding a coach to the struggling of competing, nutrition, supplements, cost, and much more. I'll be talking with competitors so you can hear their stories, judges, coaches. If you're interested in sharing your story, send me a note at scapach40@gmail.com. Welcome to Beyond the Prep. I am your host, Sherrie Capach. My guest today is Caroline Johnson. I'd like to welcome you here today. You've just finished competing at the TNT. So I'm going to start out by asking, how did you get into this sport?
I injured my knee after doing 2 sun dances and a 10K one summer. And so I was in physio for 3 months and I had no improvements. So a friend suggested that I start working with a trainer that he knew of. And then after a couple of weeks of training with her, everything was good. It was like I wasn't even injured.
Wow.
I just kept on training with her and setting new goals. And then after training for about 2 years, we decided to try a competition. And
do you know anything about the sport at that time?
I had went to 2 competitions that a friend had competed. And I knew about like the process, the diet, and all the training that went with it. So I kind of had experience that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
so when you decided you were going into it, what was the hardest part of going through the whole dynamics to get yourself on stage?
probably trying to figure out what bikini I was gonna wear.
Yeah, there is a lot out there, a lot of choices, a lot of options, and a huge price range too.
So I got mine custom made, and it was so beautiful and all out because I was so excited. So I just glued the gems and crystals and the straps. So it ended up costing me like $2,000 for my first week. And I was like, oh no, I can't back out now. Gotta do
Absolutely. Wow. That's
even
incredible.
favorite bikini.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can use it again. It's not, a one-time outfit, that's for sure.
Every single competition I've done, I've gotten a new bikini.
Have you?
Because every time my body changes so much. And then I don't want my pictures to be the same. So when I'm 80, I'll be in a nursing home and I'll have them all framed on the wall.
This is me. That's awesome. That's great. So as you get new ones, what do you do with the other ones? Do you always have a backup in case something happens?
The first one I didn't have a backup, but the second one I had one. So each competition I do, except for this one, I did figure, so I didn't have a backup. So it was starting over. I'm like, so this one better not fail, or else I'll have to change category and do bikini instead of figure.
Yeah. Or find someone the same close to you that's like, do you have a spare? Right.
So there was like 2019, I went kind of crazy and I did 3 competitions that year.
Oh wow.
And
what was that?
I did one in April, one in July, and then one in October. And it was like I was in prep the whole year almost. I got to my leanest by the 3rd one at 116, but by the time the 3rd bikini, I'm like, I can't afford another bikini, so I bought one off of somebody. I tried it on and thought it would fit perfect, but it didn't. I ended up having to take it to the lady that makes my bikini to alter it to me. So I'm like, never again. I'm always gonna need. I'm never gonna buy one from somebody else.
Right. So did you find with doing these three, and you had two that were closer together, and then you had that span of that longer time frame for your third one, was it easier to do them when they were closer together rather than farther apart, do you feel?
I liked it because I was leaner. I didn't have the huge bulkiness of it, but
Mhm.
because bulk up, I lost a lot of my muscle mass by the third one. So
Okay.
I didn't have any muscle because there wasn't enough food in me to,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so transitioning, because you went from bikini to figure, what does that entail?
Um, I don't like figure. It wasn't my choice to do figure.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like this, I don't like the style of the bikini. I don't like the look of the traps. But for some reason, during this prep, my shoulders, my arms, my back just kept growing. And I didn't even lift that um, heavy of weights. Like, I don't think I went higher than 40 pounds. Where my legs, I was trying to push up to like 600 pounds and they weren't growing. And my glutes weren't growing. So it's kind of like my body shape decided that it wanted to do figure. It looked more like a figure body than.
Mm.
So my trainer suggested either I do figure for July or I just keep on training until October and do the Grand Prairie one. But I was already in prep since January and I was hoping to do the May competition, but my work went on strike and I
Mm.
my food in, all my gym time in. So it kind of pushed my competition time a little bit further away.
Okay. So will you be transitioning back to bikini?
Um, I would like to, but it all depends on my body decides.
Mm-hmm.
Mind the posing, it seemed more relaxed this time. Um, but I feel like even though I had more muscle than I usually do, I didn't have quite enough as the other girls do. But my division that I competed in, the girls also in figure also competed in physique. So they kind of,
Oh,
so I don't know if I'm comparing my body to more of a physique body. So that's because
okay.
I competed novice in figure, but they competed novice figure and physique, and there's no way I could do physique.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in physique, there's just so much more. So, okay.
What happens? I'm open
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, you never know who's on stage. You never know what you're walking into. You go with the best version of yourself, and
Yeah.
absolutely, and be proud of making it that far. There's so many that don't.
Yeah, the girl that won, she said it was her, I think she tried 5 times before to compete, but she wasn't confident to go through with the competition. And this is her 6th attempt, and she was like looking awesome.
Wow.
She was in it to.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
So how long have you been competing for?
Um, I started out as a master, so I started in my 40s
Oh, nice.
and master.
That's amazing.
I don't even know what's after grandmaster. Grandmaster.
I don't think anything. I think once it's I'm not sure. I feel that association is different as well. Like, and some shows have a grandmasters of 55 plus, and some shows don't. So I'm not sure how they do it in that way, but I will have to find out. For what you know, what do you wish you knew when you first started? Like, say your first show, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
My first coach did a competition before, so she was quite knowledgeable. And then my second coach, majority of his clients do competitions. So I feel like they prepared me well. My first competition, I almost backed out because of the spray tan. I was like in shock. I think it was Muscle Beach, and they had men and women all in the same room. They just had them in separate tents. Spraying me down just naked. And I'm like, these guys, everybody could see me. All these guys can see me. They're just wearing these socks. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't do this. And I just thought, well, if I close my eyes, they can't see me. And now I don't even care who sees me anymore.
Right. It totally, if you are a very, what's the right word I'm looking for here?
I don't know, introverted, shy.
Yeah, like shy and self-conscious, and you walk around, and I can totally relate. I walked around the corner. I mean, ours was just women intense. And for those people that are starting out, to let them know that you're walking into that tan and there are tents of naked ladies there and you just one of them, right? Because I was just like, oh my gosh, because I wasn't prepared for that either on my first one. It's
And
yeah,
then
and then go ahead.
I didn't peeing in a cup or some sort of thing to help you use the washroom. I didn't know about that. And then I had to fix up my tan the next day.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. Like, that's good learnings for anyone that's even considering, the splash prospect of it and everything like that is something to
I
be
always have a mirror with me, like a full-length mirror to everything.
okay.
And nobody else does. And then everyone's trying to use my mirror.
Yeah. It's like, this is mine. Yeah, I've seen a couple people bring in the mirror, and I thought that was with me not knowing when I first started as well. It was, I didn't know, but brilliant. Like, I mean, you make great use of it, right?
Bring a mirror, a chair, like a mat I can lay on, because usually there's not much going on backstage. And what else? Maybe to enjoy the process. I with that. Like, I'm like, well, I'm not lean enough. I'm not getting enough muscle here and there. But then just to enjoy yourself improving.
That's great advice, because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of time, a lot of investment. It's a big investment. So that's great to, like, just enjoy it and be proud of how far you've come and where that you've made it on stage, right? So do you have plans for your next competition?
I'm still gonna like continue training, but maybe I'll do one like next year, the next year or two. We'll see what happens. I'm like open to any opportunities that come my way. Or I was looking into maybe doing a triathlon. Get into
wow.
Something.
Wow. And how is post show? Like, explain to me a little bit of the steps you took post show and where you are now.
It's kind of like you're going downhill. Like you're climbing the hill all the way up to the show, and then after you kind of go down. So you kind of feel kind of down, kind of blue. But I feel like really tired and thirsty. So the next I'm just drinking water and sleeping. Kind of I tell my friends it's like Cinderella after the ball. Like you all helping you get there. And then after then everything is like the spray tan washes off, all the makeup, your bikini's done, and the show's over, and then you have your cheat meal, and your abs start to disappear a little bit. Not as pronounced as it was. So yeah. And
That's
then,
a great example of using it, because it's like, now what?
yeah. So you just look forward to the next one. We're doing something else. I try to do a photo shoot after, just like a private one that's not competition related.
That's a great idea too, right? Showing yourself and getting those photos and
Or going
something
on
to look at.
and try to stay, like, do the reverse diet. Just have your like one cheat meal and then slowly come back to where you were. Because even just drinking water again, you can put on 10 pounds.
Are you one that pops on that scale when you get back, or it's just you just enjoy the process and follow your routine?
Scale was the morning of the show, and that's almost a week now.
Okay.
Yeah, because the numbers like stress me out of the scale, so I don't go on there unless I have to.
That's great. Yeah, not to focus on that.
Yeah, just time to relax and chill.
Yeah, just enjoy it. And it's a lot to get up on that stage. So like you say, now you're just trying to, like, you're just tired, and there's and resting, right? You put your body through so much that it's time to rest for a while.
Like, I didn't go back to the gym until yesterday.
And how was that?
It was good. I was kind of winded pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, maybe I should have waited another day. I'm not as strong as I remember I was.
Oh. Did it feel good to get back, or were you just like, oh,
Because by the second day, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go back to the gym. I miss it. So,
nice. That's wonderful. And that was some great advice. And it's a good visual too, like the Cinderella story. That's pretty much nails it, right? Like, you are just glammed right up, and then the next day it's like, whoop, gone. Well, I want to thank you for joining me and telling your story with this. That was wonderful. So on that note, I'm going to end it here, and good luck in your next competition. And if you do that triathlon, that's a lot. Good luck in that as well.
thank you, my dear.
All right, take care. I want to thank my guest today and my listeners for joining me at Beyond the Prep. If you like this episode and want to make sure you don't miss any others, please subscribe. You can also find us on YouTube.